Collective, it's been the morning of Epiphanies, and we've got the Phantom Terror deck, the shit you don't see coming. Remember I kept telling you guys about my baby daddy and how he has a corrupt chief of police dad? I didn't even get to the half of it. Okay, this dude got caught. Oh, and there's new town newspapers. You can look it up on the internet. They call them Pee-wee and Little Pee-wee. Anyways, they were tracking this for years because the FBI didn't do anything about it. There was an open investigation multiple times, and no one will arrest this fucking corrupt cop. But anyway, so he got caught stealing drugs out of the evidence locker in Lawrence County, and they sent him to Afghanistan to train the police force, but got caught stealing there too. I remember before he burned his house down for the insurance money, what he ended up doing, he moved all the guns that he had stolen from crime scenes and shit. Or like when someone would die, they'd go clear out the house first and, try and get the serial numbers off the guns and shit. But before he burned down his house for the insurance money and to get rid of the DOT records and everything else, they always burned everything, right? There was always insurance scams everywhere. Oh, there was catfishing scams too. This poor guy, I think it was the mayor that was there at one point, was getting catfished out of all of his money. I went on a ride along that night. Anyways, this gets so corrupt. So he shot himself in the foot. But so they sent him to Afghanistan, right, to cover it up. They just covered up this whole thing. They're like, we're going to ship him off over here. He gets fucked over there, and they have to send him back over here. But yeah, so he took the guns out of the house, gave the girlfriend the laptop. It was like, hey, hide this, blah, blah, blah. Which they moved, the money they get from the insurance scams, they just put them on all their kids' names or grandkids' names, right? Like, no one's going to figure that out. Which one of them did work at the bank, but they threatened her with her daughter, and like they threatened me, right, to remain silent. But again, smuggling all these drugs with all the corrupt cops nearby, and how the FBI can't get them and all this other shit. Well, when you're in bed with the corrections officers in the prisons, and there's all this money, and all the corrections officers who quit finally because they don't want to get blackballed because they all are given the opportunity. You want all this money for the drugs you're funneling. We're small town down here, but they send all the gangbangers from Chicago, those high level gangbangers down here, so they can keep funneling all the drugs, right? Well, this corrupt motherfucker, when I tell you, folks, when I tell you the dirt that people have on this man, it gets worse and worse as you keep describing it. The poor guy that ran the newspaper, the Disclosure is what it was called, he was disclosing shit. He didn't even put a dent in this. Now, you tell me how the corrupt FBI kept getting involved in all of this, and the state police and all the local law enforcement, and nobody can take this man down? Well, he has everyone on the take, and he has shit against them, and they have shit against him. But anyway, so, yeah, he moves the guns, right? He has people hold on to his stuff so he can light the house on fire, thinking no one will ever find out. It's like, well, there were witnesses. Didn't anticipate people would go to the state police and get other authorities involved, but it does make you wonder how the FBI isn't caught, and then you realize they all were funneling drugs everywhere. And then I put two and two together with one of the cops in that county was related and knew my ex in the other county I lived in, which is why they kind of got this whole scheme together, right? Big old lie, and they used law enforcement to do it. Then you've got corrupt attorneys over here too that are railroading people and clients to keep everyone hush hush and shush. These cops, like, they're knocking on people's door claiming false search warrants and shit, pretending to be other people, pretending like they have search warrants and that this is all legit, and it's not. And they're literally picking and choosing who to arrest around here, because they've got almost everyone's on the take, and if you don't play their game, they arrest you and they fuck you over and railroad you. And I know what you're thinking. Aren't you worried for your life? Dude, that's the least of my concerns. Even if they have the FBI on the take. I pissed off the Crown family before any of them. Do you know who the Crown family is? I have so much dirt on the Crown family. And it got worse with the Crown family because they tried to get their dirt back by using the head of their IT department to hack into my personal email account and they did a sloppy job. You ever heard of a stingray device? A stingray device is like a black box, right? And it'll allow you to, in a geographic location, tap in without a wiretap and without a warrant to a specific cell phone, right? They can get a warrant on that cell phone, but any cell phone that's in the radius of this, it could be a mile, right? They have access to everything on your phone. That's why you use a VPN. But yeah, they're a stingray. So that's how they can clone your phones and have everything they want on it. All they have to do is be in close proximity, press a button, all this other stuff. So they're out here using stingrays and shit, and then using pretend, like kicking down people's doors about warrants that they don't have, all in order to blackball people to play their little games. We've got 19, 21-year-old kids out here that went to the prisons thinking they were going to be a corrections officer, and when they didn't want to play the games, they're getting their throats slit, and some of them even murdered, right? So Illinois is a very corrupt state, but they're funneling the drugs from Indiana across the river all the way down, and then they use Chicago. So Indiana and Chicago is both involved. And it doesn't really matter who you report it to, because they're all on the take. Again, who are you going to report it to? You just scream it from the rooftops, from TikTok, YouTube, your podcast, iHeartRadio. You put it all out there, and you just wait for the madness to unfold itself. But yeah, if I would say I was worried, not really. A, the Most High is on my side. I'm protected no matter what. But B, when you're talking about a fucking low-life little Pee-wee and all their fucking little corrupt shit in this small town, Lawrence County, Illinois, Richland County, you name it, compared to the fucking Crown family, my guy, that's fucking pocket lint dealing with Godzilla. The Crown family owns the defense contracts for all of the countries, plus some. Most of the insurance companies, like, they're the wizard behind the curtain of America. You think I'm worried about you? What a joke. Anyways, but they hung themselves anyways, because they fucking committed so much fraud, and then they got me involved in it, and fraudulently called CPS a bunch and all this other stuff, claiming all this other shit, went to court with all this other shit, hung themselves in a trap. Why? Because they got so fucking greedy and they tried to cover their tracks with the wrong one that they got themselves into some hot water. My interpretation is Billy will just do what he normally does. His son came crying to me once about how his daddy had him. Well, he didn't specifically say it was his dad that night, but something tells me it was. Crying whenever he got drunk about how he was forced, him and his best friend Matt were forced to fucking move bodies. And then he used to remind me where he dumped my body in the Wabash. Not to mention there's a gravel pit here. The cops conveniently at certain times won't let people dump shit there when they're hiding shit. What are they dumping there, I wonder? But seriously, how does this dude steal all these drugs from an evidence locker and nobody does anything, including the FBI? Good stuff, good stuff. They're going down anyway, so that's another reason I don't have to worry. These motherfuckers are literally... Do you really think I'd be sitting here smiling and telling all of this if I didn't have a fucking tsunami in my back pocket that's about to lay down on all these people? I'm just waiting. It's like a game of cat and mouse. Anyways, so, but when you also realize what you're dealing with, which is these people commit fraud for a living, they get everybody on the take, they threaten people. I mean, his fucking son, there's a videotape outside of Casey's gas station within the last couple months. Motherfucker followed me and my daughter all the way through town and then was honking at me at a stop sign, harassing me, right? He's trying to intimidate me. It's like, do you know who the Most High is? Do you know who my spirit team is? Like, y'all are fucked. But it's worse when they get people that they set you up with people on purpose in your life that you're dating or friends with to try and get information out of you, but also try to like get you closer to the grave because they know they can't specifically touch you. And then you still watch it all play out because none of their plans keep working and they can't figure out how they they don't work. And then they try and dig up information about you only to find out that your dad isn't who your dad is, and you've been a missing kid at one point, you've been through the foster care system, you were moved around, your hospital bracelet from when you were born doesn't even match the names on your birth certificate, and your dad isn't your dad, and your family's from Mexico, but you're the only white baby